It's Nolan.
Hey, check the credit. You can feel how you want just as long as you respect it. Hey, check the credit. Hey, check the credit. Put that house on your boy.
Yeah, I had them
credit.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well on this Tuesday. Hey, man, you know, we got to get straight into it. Kendrick Lamar has the entire industry talking. This Super Bowl selection has caused more conversation, more debate, more jealousy, envy, the whole fucking gamut. Way more than I would have imagined. I told y'all before, I thought people would have been celebrating this. And there is definitely a lot of people celebrating this. Don't let the trending topics on Twitter and people just talking to talk. Because I think a lot of folks, unfortunately, we're in the engagement farming era. So there's a lot of people that are gonna rage bait just so that they could get their engagements up, their impressions up, get their views up, especially if we're talking about Twitter specifically, because there's a lot of people out there that are paying for those blue checks. And when you pay for those blue checks, when your tweets get engaged with, they get a little something. It ain't nothing crazy to my knowledge. I don't think it's like no massive amount of money, but people are doing this because it's like easy passive income just to make people mad and say crazy shit. So I think there's a lot of people that are leaning into this narrative of Kendrick Lamar versus Lil Wayne simply because it lines their pockets a little bit, a couple pennies on the dollar for them just to spark debate. And it builds up their followers for people who are willing to engage with them. So let's keep that in perspective. But outside of that, a lot of people in the industry have also spoken out. Namely, we've got people that are close to Wayne, or supposedly close to Wayne, I'll say, because we don't know how close they are today. We've got Birdman, who came out yesterday, had something to say. We got Juvenile, who released a video about the situation. We got Fabulous, who, of course, back in the mid-2000s, him and Wayne worked together a few times. I think that they were pretty, you know, I don't know if they have like a deep friendship, but they have a working relationship, at least going back to those times. Of course, we talked about Nicki Minaj and her response to Wayne not getting the Super Bowl decision as well. We're going to briefly touch on that, not too much. But she did put out a statement after my video came out where she basically said, you can love both Kendrick and Wayne without discrediting Wayne. Y'all pardon the stupid shit, the beeping noise in the background. My house is literally right in front of an apartment complex, and there's always some shit going on back there. So I apologize. But yeah, these folks, it's crazy, man. I ain't gonna, let's start with Nicki. She was the last to speak. We're gonna start with Nicki. We're gonna get into everybody else. Oh boy. What was the last piece? So she says, you can love and respect Kendrick and still love and respect Wayne. Even Kendrick loves and respects Wayne. Every real rapper loves and respects Wayne. And then, of course, we get the obligatory promotion. Gag City, DC, tonight is the night. The whole DMV area. See y'all soon. Hashtag DTLR. Fuck all that, though. This tweet right here is exactly where I stand, right? The last couple of days, we've had these conversations. We've had these debates. We've had everything going on. And I stand deadpan in the middle, right? I love Wayne. I love Kendrick. There's some people out there that say Wayne didn't deserve it. Some people say, I would even say, you know, based on Wayne's solo records, and I'm not talking about solo albums. I love his albums. Talking about solo hits, not as many as you would think. He's got big hits via features. We talked about this. But I still would respect if Wayne were on the Super Bowl stage. Let's go ahead and keep that a buck. Had Kendrick not been chosen and Wayne got chosen, I would be happy. However, it's Kendrick's time. It's Kendrick's turn. And I don't think that we should be, you know, downplaying or minimizing his moment because of Wayne. I'm going to be honest. I also want to speak to the fact that Nicki Minaj, you're the one that's coming out crying foul. You're the one sparking outrage. So at the end of it, you decide, because a lot of people are of the belief that Nicki Minaj basically just used this situation to promote her tour and her shoes. That's what a lot of people think. They feel like she went up for Wayne because he's close enough, even though they're not really close, right? But they're close enough, and it gave her enough proximity to Wayne as a reason to kill a couple birds with one stone, to shoot at Jay-Z and Roc Nation, because that's a mission that she's been on for the past couple years. Ever since Megan Thee Stallion and her relationship fell out, she's been anti-Roc Nation, right? And there's people that believe, the reason she's anti-Roc Nation is because they're hoisting up Megan to be a valid competitor. And some people out there's a lot of people out there that don't believe Megan is a valid competitor. When you want to, kind of minimize Megan, you say, look at the album sales, right? Oh, she sold 64,000 first week. She sold 64,000 first week. Nicki Minaj sold 228,000 first week. It's no competition. All right. Well, I always say, if you don't view her as Nicki's competition, tell me why she does. Why is she so consumed with what she got going on? Why is she consumed with trolling her? Why is she consumed with going against Jay-Z and Roc Nation over this woman if she's not a competitor? Y'all should take that up with the person you stand for, right? Nonetheless, again, you come out with this message saying you can love both artists, but initially it didn't seem like there was much love for Kendrick. I didn't see no form of congratulations for him coming from you. I didn't see no salute to him. I saw no mention of his name, as a matter of fact. You just used the moment to big up Wayne, and there's nothing wrong with bigging up Wayne, but then you wanted to promote your tour and your shoes at the same time. Every tweet that you've put out has something promoting Gag City DC, DTLR, Loki shoes. All right? I'm not going to disparage none of those things in this moment, because that's what you're promoting. That's what you want. That's what you rocking. That's what your fans on. If they buy it, salute, man. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But it's pretty nasty work when you try to take a racial thing and try to make it seem like Jay-Z is getting all you house niggas in check, and you start calling people niggas with the ER. You start talking about some God will punish you, mark my words, the man that has not only pushed his pen the hardest, but gave the game more than one hip-hop icon as well on his watch. You talking about God will punish somebody for not seeing Wayne as a perfect fit for this year's Super Bowl. Apparently, there's a lot of people that didn't see him as a perfect fit. And that's okay. Again, had he been chosen, I'd be going up for Wayne. Because he's not, I think we should give the person that was chosen their just due, give them the ability to bask in their moment. And also, like I said before from the jump, allow him to extend the invite to Wayne. Everybody knows he love and respect that nigga. So why are we not giving him the ability to have due process to get his plan together, to get his schematics in order, to see how this thing is going to play out on screen? You know how much rehearsal goes into this? And I gotta be honest, love Wayne, but people are coming out and saying he does not rehearse. He is not dedicated to the craft of performance in that way. He literally shows up, and sometimes, a lot of times, people have been under the impression that he might not show up. They also say that he's actually canceled some shows within 10 minutes of the show starting with people in the building. That's not the behavior of somebody that you want on primetime television on the biggest night in TV. Right? So let's keep all of these things in perspective. Right? And that's with respect to all parties. And I want to go ahead and say, giving people respect does not mean that you can't critique them. Giving people love does not mean you can't critique them. I need a few people out there to understand that. We're not going to go too deep into that, though. So that's Nicki shooting at Jay-Z for choosing Kendrick, excuse me. We've also got Birdman, the head of Cash Money, the man who actually refused to pay Lil Wayne. I don't even know if Lil Wayne got his money from Birdman, even after it was determined that he had to. Birdman don't pay people. Birdman pays no one, even if you get the motherfucking courts to say so. Let's ask Wendy Day what she got. Anyway, Birdman came out and said, these niggas pussy. Nicki Minaj, Drake, Lil Tunechi, YMCMB. I'ma make these niggas respect us on Gladys. Now, you know, when Birdman says on Gladys, I think he might be talking about either his mom or his grandma. I don't know. I don't know this nigga family, his family dynamic. I don't know nothing. But I know that is a frequent thing he says, on Gladys. He comes back and says, hating shit for real. So he is also running with the narrative that Jay-Z and Roc Nation are hating on Wayne, hating on Birdman and YMCMB. I don't understand the narrative of Jay-Z hating on Wayne when in 2024, Wayne probably spends more time with Jay-Z than he does with Birdman. I'm under the impression Jay-Z has probably paid Lil Wayne more money than Birdman. Actually, toward something of substance. Y'all helped Wayne get in debt. Jay-Z helped him get out. Those are two different things. Y'all bought that man cars and homes, created his debt, and left him with the shit in his name. For another man from a whole nother state, whole nother place, whole nother part of the country to come in and clean up the mess. But you talking about hating. I think hating is when you have a child protege in your fucking camp. This man was under your wing since what? 14 years old, officially from 16. Right? Might have been 12 when he first got with you niggas. Somewhere around there. Right? Y'all had him under the wing from 12 to the nigga was damn near 36. Okay? 24 years dedicated to what you got going on. He knew who you was when he was a child. He aspired to be a part of your crew. His whole goal in life was to impress you niggas. He accomplished that goal. He came out with you niggas. Outshined all you talentless motherfuckers. Juvie, you got talent. BG, you got some talent. Turk, okay. But y'all came together. Y'all created a movement. But he was the star. It was always known he was the star. Juvie was his own star, which is why he was able to go off and do his own shit outside of the label. Manny Fresh was a star. He went on and did shit outside the label, producing for other artists. He was y'all soundtrack. Without them beats, where would some of y'all be? Again, you can love and respect people while also critiquing them. So, when I say talentless motherfuckers, I'm really talking about Birdman. That's not a knock. We're talking about rap. He ain't got no talent. He had the brains, he had street smarts, and they had the streets. That's a whole nother thing. Respect to that, because that's something I can't attest to. I don't come from that necessarily. And when you can be a general of that, you get your respect in a whole nother lane. But I don't have to speak to that. I don't have to, acknowledge that in this conversation. Nigga put 24 years down with you niggas, and you didn't want to pay him. You owed this man somewhere in the upwards of $30 million. I think it was a minimum. I think it was probably more than that. I think it should have been more like $100 million. When everybody else left the label because you wasn't paying them neither, who stayed? Just imagine. Jay-Z wanted to bail that nigga out back in 2003. He saw what the play was. He saw what was going on. How wouldn't he? Everybody left. And the story was the same with everyone who left. Birdman don't pay. Y'all niggas owe me money. Y'all niggas owe me royalties. Y'all niggas try to take my pub. Out of blind loyalty, Wayne said, I'ma stay. Wayne said, fuck everybody. If you don't see him here, then it is what it is. He rode and put that fucking flag down for an additional 10 years or so after everybody left. And you repaid him by not paying him. Then you go and put Young Thug on the label, and you literally tried to replace him with a nigga who looked up to him. And depending on what you believe when it comes to the streets, them niggas tried to take him out. But you want to act like you holding it down for Wayne. Sound like the biggest hater was the man he called his dad for so many years. We ain't gonna stay too long on this shit. We're just gonna address everything in its timing. If you wasn't a hater, you'd have helped that man pay his taxes off. Matter of fact, if you loved him so much, he wouldn't have had delinquent taxes to begin with, or at least he would have had the money in the bank to pay it off had he not been in that situation. But I'll digress on Birdman. Let's get to Juvie. I respect Juvie. Again, Juvie showed I know how to get it. Juvie was busting head since before. You know what I'm saying? Juvie was busting heads with UNLV. Or I'll say since UNLV and all that shit. Juvie, truth be told, there's songs of Juvie from like the mid-90s of him rapping like a East Coast nigga a little bit with the rhyme scheme and shit. I heard that shit. I said, damn, I didn't know Juvie could put syllables and shit together. Damn. He simplified the style. Let's see what he got to say about the situation.
So everybody want me to speak on this Super Bowl situation. Look, I'm mad about the situation just like y'all, man. But, you know, my hatred is toward the NFL. You know, not really the people that booked the halftime show. I'm mad at the people that hired the motherfuckers that booked the halftime show. I feel like y'all should step in. Y'all done threw 11 Super Bowls in New Orleans, man. Y'all have yet to put a hip-hop artist from New Orleans on the damn Super Bowl. Sure, y'all have put artists on the Super Bowl back in the days. Al Hurt, and the list goes on. Not too many. Not too many. You know, I feel like every time y'all come here, y'all should have somebody from our city on this shit. But this time it really hit hard when you don't have Lil Wayne on the show. I don't see how the fuck y'all don't have Lil Wayne doing a halftime show. Somebody that has a whole bunch of fucking hits and somebody that really deserves it and somebody that can bring out multiple artists of all genres. Think about it. So this goes to you, Roger Goodell. You need to get it right, man. You coming in our city, sucking up our cultures and making up all this money and putting all this bread in your pocket, putting all this bread in other people's pockets and leaving us dry, hanging us dry. You gotta stop.
Now, Juvie, I'm gonna let you rock because I respect you. I respect your pen. I respect your hits. And I respect you as a voice in New Orleans. And I don't, to my knowledge, I don't have no history of you doing niggas dirty. You ride for your nigga. Cool. You got a clean slate. You earn that. Right? And Juvie didn't say no shit about Jay-Z. He said Roger Goodell. Y'all gotta, if y'all wanna blame somebody, then it ain't about Jay-Z. It's about whoever employed Jay-Z to make the decision and who has a hand in, processing said decision and pushing it forward, escalating it. So again, Roc Nation comes to the table with the list of candidates, right? They bring who they have. The NFL, what the fuck is the NFL gonna do, man? Like, they don't even mostly know these niggas, right? It's Roger Goodell is young enough to know a Jay-Z. I don't think he know too much about too many other motherfuckers. I don't even think he was all that fond of Jay-Z when he met him. I think some young motherfuckers, maybe his kids and grandkids, had to come in and say, yo, he's the guy. Okay. Whatever. long as it helps the bottom line, I'm down with it, brother. So they bring the motherfuckers. NFL signs off on it. Then they take it to the actual city hosting the event, and they got to sign off on it too. Where was the pushback? Where was the, oh shit, no, we need Wayne? I can't say if it never happened, but I can tell you this. Give Kendrick Lamar the opportunity. Kendrick is just like everybody else, just like the Jay-Z's of the world, just like the Beyoncé's of the world. They may not come out and speak, but they see everything. Y'all saw in his promo, he said, no round twos. The chatter before all this Super Bowl shit was Drake posting on his Finsta, we gon' win it in game 2. No round twos. That nigga sees all this shit. That nigga's hearing all of this shit. Not to mention his niggas, the people that are around him that have access to him, are seeing this shit, sending him probably everything. He's sitting back. He ain't got to speak. But I do believe, based on what I know of Kendrick Lamar and how much he's come out and shared his love for Wayne on multiple occasions. There's videos of him, Ali, the engineer Ali, pushing him around on a cart in the fucking airport doing Hot Boys music, right? There's video of Kendrick talking about how he was inspired when he got to see Wayne in the studio actually working with J-Rock, and how he worked, and you know what I'm saying, and how he had so much other shit going on, but he locked in and did this verse for a relatively, I ain't even gonna say relatively, for an unknown artist. J-Rock is still not the biggest artist to this day, but back in 2006, wow. Right? We spoke about when Wayne was contemplating retirement. That nigga Kendrick came out of his motherfucking cocoon and was like, no, that's not happening, nigga. Fuck that. Fuck whatever you talking about, nigga. We not letting that happen. Fuck that. Wayne acknowledged that and said, hey, I guess I can't leave yet. Wayne's still here rapping. You can say what you want about his current crop of music, whatever. You may not be into him no more. There's a lot of people that try to make fun of his appearance. I've been one of the people that don't. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't got to pit these two niggas against each other, man. If you want to compare accolades, that's fair. That's cool. But just keep in mind, what Kendrick has done in the game is in half the time. That's not taken away from either party. All right. So we'll get off of that. We spoke on Juvie. Now we'll get into Fabulous, who, of course, he's associated on both sides. He's got a good relationship with Jay-Z, last I known. Don't see him around him as much these days. But we know that they had a good relationship, right? Collaborations, the whole nine. I want to say Fab may have been, I don't know, was Fab ever like rock? I don't think he ever officially signed, but he was always like a associated act type thing. Then they had that whole Brooklyn movement going on. It was Hove, Fab, even Uncle Murder got an invite to the party. That shit was beyond me. But yeah, let's see what he had to say about the situation.
But I do see like people blaming it like solely on Jay-Z when I don't think that's the truth. I think it's a committee, it's a board. I feel like it's different people who come into play when decisions like that are made. I do think it would have been great for Lil Wayne to be, you know, just because of how much he's done in the game and how much he's meant to New Orleans, and you know, that would have been a great opportunity. Never know if he's going to be included, if that was something that was behind the scenes. I think it was interesting that Kendrick got it after the Drake battle and shit too. I think that's more something that should be talked about. You know, I think his relevance is really up from that, so that could be something that tipped the scale too.
All right, so that's Fab. He basically said the basic template of what should be said. But then at the end, he throws in the whole, you know, his relevance being up due to the battle, which we can't overlook. I mean, the nigga put out, what, 5 songs this year in that battle? And all 5 of those songs shut down the fucking industry. The songs have more relevance than everyone's albums. Everyone's albums. I don't give a fuck whose name you put in there this year. Just off those records alone. About a week or so ago, I talked about how ASU, Alabama State University, I came to Atlanta. They were out here playing Like That and Not Like Us. Another video has surfaced of Alabama State playing Euphoria, the band, nigga. They playing Euphoria at the game. This is where they say favor ain't fair, man. Some niggas just gonna elevate and escalate and permeate in a way that you just can't do it. It happens in every field, man. Some motherfuckers just got the eye of the tiger. And it just is what it is, man. Let me see if there's anything more. We did talk about Cam and Mace, how they felt about the situation. It seemed that Cam was more angry than Mace. I will say that. It was basically like Mace kind of took on what Cam was saying, but Cam literally said it was egregious. He said he didn't like the choice. He didn't like the decision. Now, I know Cam's done a lot of music, or I won't even say a lot, but he's done some music with Wayne. Jewels is the one who did most of the Dipset music with Wayne, but Cam was around and did records with Wayne too. They embraced him, you know, during his Best Rapper Alive, like when he was first really throwing that into the haystack. They put their arms around him, and I feel like they definitely helped put him in that conversation. Not because they said he was the best or not because of anything like that, but when Wayne was saying he was the best rapper alive since the best rapper retired, a lot of the people that had some sort of resistance to that statement were East Coast niggas. So for Dipset to come and be like, nah, he one of us. He's like an unofficial member of Dipset. And then they collabed with him and he started bodying them niggas on their own shit. Yeah, a lot of East Coast motherfuckers had to eat their words. And I was extremely East Coast biased at the time when Wayne said that shit. When he first came with Carter 1, I was not convinced. Carter 2 is what got me, like, really it was like dedication 2, Carter 2. Carter 1, I love. I had to go back and like reprocess it after I became like a legit fan. Like I was a fan of Wayne, but I felt like he was definitely, he was ordering too much off the menu when he said that shit. You know what I mean? When he first said it. A couple years later, I said, hey man, nigga say what he want, fuck it. But I understand why Cam feels that way, because he helped solidify to a certain select demographic of people who Wayne was and helped him carve out who he came to be. Now, he definitely spread his oats in a lot of different arenas, so Dipset can't really take all the credit, but they contributed. So I understand. Mace, on the other hand, No. But it seems to me Mase sits in a similar seat to where Nicki Minaj is. Where Mase don't like Jay-Z. Him and Jay-Z had a, weird relationship ever since the 90s. When Jay came on the scene, he was like, Biggie died. Jay-Z was kind of like the new nigga after, but then you also had Mase, who was like right there in the bad boy camp, who was the new nigga also. So there was a level of competition between them two. They had their little jabs going back and forth. If you go back and listen to those albums, that 97, 98 era, they was throwing shots at each other, talking about watches and cars and vehicles and shit like that. But former Dipset member 40 Cal, he came out and actually, this is not new information, but he came out and he spoke to why Mase is really mad at Jay. I'm going to go ahead and let 40 Cal speak his piece, because this is about the only time 40 Cal will ever get a mention on this channel. 40 used to be hard, though. He was definitely one of those punchline niggas that got overlooked by the Cassidys, the Bankses, the Fabs. He was kind of in that conversation, but he wasn't, because he didn't have albums. He only had mixtape work. So, but shout out to 40. You know what I'm saying? Nigga was nice.
So, about 20 minutes later, Jay-Z pulls up in the 4.6 range that he always talked about, the black joint. He hops out. I'm like, I couldn't believe this shit. He hops out. First thing he says to this nigga, "What, you want to battle? Anybody got a microphone?" It fucked me up. That I'm like, who the fuck got microphones out here? But I'm like, Mase, do something. Shit. Nigga, Jay-Z just came over here and said, "What's good, nigga?" Dead ass, right? So, nigga Mase said, "Yeah, all that cool, but who was you talking about on that song when you like, check your own video numbers?" Nigga Jay was like, "Everybody know I'm talking about you."
All right. Now, I don't know if YouTube is going to let the music shit rock at the end, but basically on a record, Jay said some shit like, check the credits or some shit. I probably make more money off your album than you. And he said, check your own videos. You'll always be number 2. And basically, if y'all can remember, there was an old video of Mase and Diddy where he had Diddy had the number 1 jersey on, Mase had number 2. So he said, check your own videos. You always be number 2, nigga. How could you ever be number 1 when you out here rocking number 2? Damn. So they never really mended fences on that. At least with Killer, Jay-Z did those unplugged concerts where he brought out, Cam brought out State Property and shit like that, gave them niggas a little carrot to bite off of every now and then. But he don't really like Jay neither. All right? But at the end of the day, it's going to be about Kendrick. It's going to be Kendrick's show. And when we get to that show, he going to put on a motherfucking show. Wayne included or not. And I would love for Wayne to be included. But even if he's not, he going to put on a motherfucking show. I'm going to be sitting front and center. I'm going to have that motherfucker turned all the way up. Y'all don't understand. This is the same Kendrick Lamar who in 2023, as popular as he is, was not getting the proper credit he deserves on a major, huge vocal scale. Coming off of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, a lot of people felt like he took a big step backwards. I was there. I actually love that album. It's actually probably my favorite out of all of them. if I'm just listening to it and like processing what he's saying and how he's saying it, I'm like, this might be his best work. But people are more emotionally connected to the other shit. I was there. Again, I always say, before I even started the Inside the Industry show, I did a fucking video review of that album and broke down all the lyrics and was like, this nigga is going crazy. A lot of people didn't feel that way. A lot of people today have changed their story. So that just, to me, it just, you know, personally, it's a dope moment to see him getting his full range of credit, because a lot of people had counted him out, pun intended. I love when you count me out. But yeah, let me know what you think of all of this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. I will catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be safe out there. Much love and respect, y'all. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. First I'm out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.